Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the MEMSPA Minutes video series. I am Mike Domagalski, proud president of the Michigan Elementary and Middle School Principals Association. Thank you for checking this out, whether you're listening or watching. Today, we have an awesome guest, a new member to the MEMSPA staff family. You can check out, once again, all these MEMSPA Minutes by checking out our YouTube channel at MEMSPA TV. So please subscribe, share the videos. But today, we have Melissa Usiak in the house today, and we call her Dr. Mel. Is that correct?
Sure, that's great.
We call her Dr. Mel, and she is the new Associate Executive Director at the Michigan Elementary and Middle School Principals Association. So welcome, Melissa. It's good to have you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So really, I just want to take about 10 minutes here and have the membership or anyone listening just to get to know a little bit about you. So can you talk to us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So this is like my 26th or 27th year in education. Initially, I was a middle school science and English teacher for 7 years in the Okemos Public School District. At that time, I got my master's in education administration and was ready to explore that and became an assistant principal in Charlotte Public Schools, which is actually where I grew up. So that was an interesting experience to go back and be the instructional leader for a lot of the staff that actually educated my sisters and I going through the system. I was able to go and work on my PhD full-time at Michigan State for a couple of years, but was really yearning to go back to practice and ended up in an elementary principal position in Holt. And I was there for 7 years as well. And then after finishing the doctorate, had an opportunity to go to Michigan State University, back to the K-12 Education Administration Department, where I am a professor of practice. So I get to work with our highly skilled tenure line faculty, but really am that position in the faculty that kind of keeps us grounded and connected to practice. So I feel really honored and privileged to teach and advise and work on program development for prospective school leaders. And then also at that time was able to take on the executive director position at Michigan ASCD, who MEMSPA shares office space with them in the MAC. And so we've partnered along the way. And so when when this position became available, big shoes to fill with Cindy Malik, but was ready to take on the opportunity to work more directly with school leaders. It's a big passion of mine and really, really looking forward to and very honored to do the supporting of those people in the field.
Awesome. You know, what's great is a couple things here. I heard Okemos and Holt and Charlotte. And did you mention that you grew up in Charlotte, correct?
I did. I grew up in Charlotte, and my dad was a school teacher, an athletic director, and out of retirement was an elementary school principal in Eaton Rapids. And my mom was a school bus driver for 31 years. So I have been in schools, in school buses, in gymnasiums, at track and field since I was born.
That's pretty neat. What a cool experience. Going really back to hometown-ish, right? And kind of going into that and being an administrator there too, with colleagues or, you know, people you're working with that were probably your teachers. So that's an interesting experience.
It was.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So let's talk about really quickly your work with Michigan State University and ASCD. Some people watching this may not know or realize what ASCD is. So can you explain that and maybe some projects or previous work that you've worked on into preparation for your job now here at MEMSPA?
Absolutely. So at Michigan State, like I said, I am a professor of practice. So I do a lot of teaching, a lot of advising, I teach a lot in the master's program and with our certification pathway. But then I also am a co-director of the educational doctorate program. So those are a lot of students who actually are in school leadership roles, sometimes classroom teachers who are working on that EDD. And that's a really wonderful opportunity to really hone their skills as scholarly practitioners. Michigan ASCD is the state affiliate for the Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development. And so they are really known for a lot of their professional learning, but their publications, books, but as well as Ed Leadership, which is a really wonderful publication that is very timely on nearly a monthly basis. And so a lot of people know them because of that. So I have been for a little over 5 years the executive director, Really, during the pandemic, we survived, and I think that was probably our our best feat to say, in the last 5 years, was just to be able to stay above water as a nonprofit. But a small organization, a professional organization that's really title and role agnostic. I think in that, leaders, district leaders, school leaders, classroom teachers, they're really an organization that's opened up to any title, role, responsibility, anyone that wants to lead teaching and learning. So while there, we grew programs, existing long-standing programs like the Curriculum Leaders Institute, and in the last several years have really tried to be the champions of the whole child. The whole child and the WISC model that is part of the MyKIP was created by ASCD and the CDC many years ago. And so that now has a new platform in our continuous improvement process in the state of Michigan. So really just trying to champion that work and help to spread the word about how the work of focusing on the whole child is really, it moves beyond the walls of the school. And it's really about collective ownership. So that's been work in the last couple of years that I've really tried to promote and to lead as part of that organization.
Awesome. And you see, I see supervision, curriculum development. I hear Michigan State, all your teaching and learning and the things that you're dealing with there. I'm really excited for that background to now come into the role of MEMSPA, of what you're going to be able to provide, not only just through teaching and learning, but through leadership as well, through the principals here. So you and I have met several years ago, so I'm excited to have you on board as a staff member at MEMSPA, and I'm excited for you to work on certain projects that MEMSPA is already working on, or maybe future projects. So can you talk about your vision for some of the projects that MEMSPA not only has currently going on, but maybe something in the future, whether it's workshops, our current strategic plan, anything like that? You obviously have a lot of background coming from ASCD and Michigan State and all of your teaching leadership positions. So can you talk about what that vision for yourself is going to look like in your new position at MEMSPA?
When thinking about this role, I think the biggest draw for me was the opportunity to grow my sphere of influence. And that's always been something I've been thoughtful about as you move from the classroom to a principal role, as I moved from the principal role to the university, right? And it's any opportunity I have to try to impact and influence and grow. I think, school leaders, I think they are the most pivotal role in a system, in a learning organization, because they have the opportunity, right, to really influence students, families, staff, and build capacity to really grow that organization. And so that is what I hope to bring is more opportunities for school leaders to grow and to learn and to stretch, but then also learn how to build capacity back in their organizations. Obviously, MEMSPA has a long-standing, positive, attractive reputation that, of course, I want to complement, through its membership, through the really tight-knit network. It's just amazing to be able to be a part of that in any capacity. But so obviously supporting current things such as the annual conference and the Summer Leadership Institute, those are really important to continue to promote and to support, because they're already such pinnacle parts of being in the organization. But I think also, being a support to individual members. I know obviously Paul does a lot of that. So however I can help in that role. But then, looking at the strategic plan and thinking about, the 4 goals, I think one thing I'd like to try to also complement is the goal around diversity, equity, and inclusion. We know that work is very introspective work. It's very exhausting work. And I think helping people situate themselves to do that really arduous long-term work is important. So however I can be helpful in that, and that is something that I'd like to continue to consider and think about and grow those opportunities to do that work. I mentioned building capacity already, right, which is another goal.
Mhm.
The advocacy piece, that's another really attractive part of being in this role, is being closer to that advocacy piece. That is not something that Michigan ASCD had, was really a political platform and advocacy by choice. And so being able to be closer to that and really support those really important initiatives and mandates, I think are that influence us as policy in school leadership roles. And then of course professional learning as that fourth goal is so it is absolutely my biggest passion, is to lead the learning of leaders. And that's why I am so honored and privileged to be able to teach at Michigan State, to coordinate professional learning in the past for Michigan ASCD. And so being able to continue to do that in continued ways, but also new ways as part of MEMSPA is really important and also really exciting.
Awesome. Awesome. And then, like I said, we are very excited to have you aboard. You come with a lot of information, you come with a lot of experience, come back with a lot of experience. We're excited that what you're going to be able to bring to the table at MEMSPA. So before we sign off really quickly, is there anything that you'd like to say to the MEMSPA membership or principals in the trenches? Anything you'd like to add?
My biggest honor is when I have former students or people I've worked with in these various organizations reach back out, whether it's like I said, a former student, a former teacher when I was a principal, participants who have gone through programs at Michigan ASCD, and I'd like to carry that over. So I'm really hoping people will feel comfortable as we continue to grow our relationship and build our partnerships, that people will feel comfortable, because, being an active listener, being a support is really important, no matter what, but especially right now as things continue to be really challenging for school leaders. I just hope to offer a layer of support, or continued support in that role. The principalship is near and dear to my heart. It is by far, I liken it to parenting. It's by far the most challenging yet most rewarding role I have ever played in a system. And it's not easy work, and being supportive to one another and lifting up one another, and when we can, caring for one another is really important. So I hope to be able to do that for even more folks, and really looking forward to that.
Awesome. And we're really excited for your work moving forward. So once again, a couple things that I really love that you said that is hitting the nail right in the head, and we know that you're going to deliver, is you're excited about the impact, the influence, and grow leaders, right? And lead the learning of leaders. And that's a great way of putting it. And I think that MEMSPA, a lot of us do that collectively together, but we needed someone, especially to fill Cindy's shoes, who did a great job. And you're going to do a great job with that, is leading the learning of leaders. Mm-hmm. And I really feel comfortable with you, Melissa, coming on board, and we're really excited to get you started. I think today is day one, correct?
Today is day one, November 1st. I'm here in the MEMSPA office.
Yeah, so when this is recorded, it is November 1st. This probably won't post for another week or two, but congratulations on almost completing your first day.
Thank you.
But we are very excited for not only you to work on the professional learning aspect, but every part of the strategic plan, to be part of the conference, to be all part of what we do at MEMSPA, and that is principals leading learning. So so thank you very much. And it was great to get to know you a little bit more today. I hope that everyone watching and listening got to know Dr. Melissa Usiak a little bit more as well. We're excited to see her on more as our Associate Executive Director here at MEMSPA starting November 1st, 2021. So welcome, Melissa, and we're really excited to have you on board. So for everyone listening and watching, once again, subscribe to that MEMSPA TV YouTube channel. You can subscribe there. These videos post at 8:30 every week on the hashtag MEMSPA chat, but you can check them out anytime on that YouTube channel. So for myself, Mike Domagalski, President of MEMSPA, we'll see you next week, and have a great week. We'll see you later.